You know, I've been thinking about this a lot. I've been thinking about it all day long. What I've been thinking about is the desperacy in Jamie Dimon and the bankers. And I've been thinking about what cryptocurrencies, all of the cryptocurrencies, they all function similarly. You all have a wallet that you have on your computer. It's a software wallet. And once you install that software on your computer, the bitcoins, you can download them or any other type of cryptocurrency into that wallet, and you are your own bank. There's no third party. It's just you and the wallet, and you can do whatever you want with those, with that cryptocurrency. The computer takes care of it, and there's no cheating the system. It functions absolutely flawlessly as money. It's the ultimate new money for the internet world, and for the internet life. And there's no stopping it at this point. The horse is out of the barn, so to speak. In other words, Bitcoin is out there, it's loose, it's tearing through the system. Not just Bitcoin, but all the cryptocurrencies are tearing through the system. They're going to get more and more popular until they win in the end. Now, the central banks, you know, they're absolutely desperate. Guys like Jamie Dimon. They want to, if they can't destroy this, they want to take control of it. And they want to make it theirs. And why they're desperate is they can see this destroying the banking system. Absolutely crushing the banking system. And I've been thinking about this all day long, how this will crush the banking system in the end, and how these bankers, how they're not going to succeed at this point. I don't think they're going to. Things are looking like the people are not going to accept any of these cryptocurrencies unless they're deregulated. They're not connected to the banking system. And this is, I think, what was missing, and this is the missing part, the missing piece in all of this, is that these bankers, they thought, I think, in their minds, that they could control this. I think they're the ones who orchestrated it in the beginning, and they thought that they could control this beast, and that it would serve them, and they could be its master. The master of the beast, you know? The problem is now that the beast is unchained and they've let him out of his box, there's no putting him back in his box, and they can't control it. It's out of control at this point. Now we have to focus on, what is this thing actually going to do? Well, one of the things that keeps going through my mind is the pizza the guy bought with bitcoins. Back, and he spent 10,000 bitcoins for a pizza. And he thought he got a good deal. Back then, I'm going to tell you, there was no $140 billion in the cryptocurrency market. I don't even think it was $1 million. It was nothing. It was like, compared to what we have now, 140 billion, back then it was nothing. And you couldn't even conceive back then that there was any possibility whatsoever that it would grow to over $1 billion. Or even over a number of millions. It was nothing. It was a big nothing burger. Now the whole thing is growing to 144 billion as I just looked at the cryptocurrency market capitalizations. 144 billion as I'm speaking. And it's growing. Now, it's been growing in pulses and surges. What it does is it goes through a bull market. And then it goes through a bear market and then another bull market, all the way up. But if you take a look at the overall, it's always up, 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 up. Even though it crashes and then it goes higher than it ever was before the next time around. It's been doing this since 2009, since it was first released. You know? And it is not going to stop. It's not going to stop. Now, the question is, this is the big question, what I've been thinking about all day long. When is this thing going to hit critical mass? Now, what I mean by that, at a certain point, when it grows to a certain size, I don't know, maybe $1 trillion market cap. I'm just guessing, but maybe when it hits $1 trillion market cap, it's going to be sucking enough liquidity out of the fiat currencies and into itself. In other words, enough people are going to be dropping the fiat currencies and using the money to buy Bitcoin, and then using Bitcoin. Well, not just necessarily Bitcoin, but I'm talking about cryptocurrencies. They're going to be using cryptocurrencies as a means for transactions. At what point does this thing hit critical mass where there's so many people putting money into it that it becomes obvious to everyone out there, and the media starts to carry the story, that, hey, cryptocurrency is sucking up all of the world's money, and it's becoming money? At what point does it hit that critical mass where it takes off, and the market capital of it goes up and up and up, but it's drawing away from the market capital of the regular currencies? And a lot of people say, oh, the government would never let this happen. Well, it's not a matter of letting it happen. It's a matter of what can they do to stop it. Believe me, they want to stop it at this point. They want to put the beast back in the box, especially China. Look at Jamie Dimon. He's absolutely passionate about it. But the beast is not going to go back in the box. The beast is on a rampage, and it's out for blood, and it's growing. Now, okay, we might go through a little bit of a bear market coming up, and I think we probably will. Some sort of a price correction, coming up. It might go up a bit higher before it goes down again. But okay, say it goes through a price correction, On the other side of the price correction, we all know it's going to continue this charge that it's been on ever since it was first released. It's almost like the infancy of the internet itself. We're at that stage right now where we were when the internet was being released, where just the first few people had the internet in their homes and were sending emails, and a lot of other people were arguing, saying that's just a fad. Nobody will ever send email. Who wants to send email when we can send it through the regular postal carrier? All we got to do is put a stamp on it. It's so much better and so much easier. And why are we going to use that old email? Nobody's going to use email, And look what happened after that. The use of the internet exploded. Well, we're in that same stage right now with cryptocurrencies, where we're like the early days of the internet, just before it exploded. And that's what's going to happen with these cryptocurrencies. They're going to explode. And right now, if you go out there and ask people, have you heard of Bitcoin? Do you know what Bitcoin is? Only probably one person out of 100 will say, yeah, I know what it is, and I have some. One person out of 100, if that. Most of them are not even going to know what it is, and they're not going to have any. Okay? And so the thing about it is Bitcoin right now is not in a bubble, no more than it was in a bubble back when it was $1,000 during the first charge upwards. The first big charge upwards, and the Bank of China did the same thing, but they had more influence over it that time. They were able to knock it all the way down to like 150 or 200 from 1150, And when it went up over $1,000, everybody was saying it's in a bubble. Well, this is doing exactly the same thing this time. It's repeating the same pattern. But next time it goes up, it's going to go up exponentially higher than it did this time. It's not going to really ever be in a bubble, because by the time it finally gets up to a market capital where it makes this, it explodes, it will become the money. And at that point, you're not buying it like a commodity anymore. At that point, you're dumping your dollars for Bitcoin, never to go back, and you're going to be pricing everything in cryptocurrency. So right now, you say, well, how much is my car worth? And you say, well, it's worth $10,000. When this day comes, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be saying, how much is my car worth? And the guy says, well, forget dollars, because your car's worth 100 trillion, zillion, billion, bazillion dollars. Dollars are worthless. How much is your car worth in Bitcoin? That's what it's going to be. when that day comes. Because I'm telling you, what's happening is it's going to reach a critical mass, and when it's adopted, then we're not going to be pricing it in dollars anymore, because it's going to destroy it. The dollar's on its way out. The dollar and the old antiquated banking system and everything that's related to it. So we're not going to be comparing bitcoins to dollars like we are now. We're going to be comparing everything on Earth and valued in Bitcoin. We're going to be thinking, how much Bitcoin is that worth? And I'm going to tell you, when you buy a Bitcoin, you're not buying a Bitcoin. You're buying 99.999 million little tiny pieces, fragments of a coin to make up the whole coin. It's 99 million of these little fragments. And each one of those little fragments is a monetary unit. So there's going to come a time, right now, it costs to send a transaction over the Bitcoin network, because Bitcoin has not been scaled yet. The Bitcoin Cash has been scaled better, but the original Bitcoin, the first Bitcoin, has not been scaled out yet. It's going to be scaled out. They're going to scale it out when they open the Lightning Network. But as of now, it's not been scaled yet. So to send a transaction and get it through with great speed and priority, so that you can get it in one block, which is 10 minutes, what you need to do is you need to send a bit more Bitcoin than you would to pay for the transaction, to get the miners to open that transaction first. Now, that cost in Satachis is like, right now it's minuscule. It's like maybe $2 or $3. You know, it's no real big deal right now. So if you're sending $1,000, it might cost you $3 more to send it fast. If you're willing to wait all night while you sleep, you can send it real cheap, you know, for like a nickel. You can send your $1,000. But if you're sending it and you want it to go through in 10 minutes, you add a couple extra dollars to it. It's no big deal right now, because Bitcoin's only worth $5,000 a piece. Well, $4,170 a piece. But when Bitcoin is worth $1 million a piece, those fees that they're charging right now will be exorbitantly high, because people won't be able to afford that. What right now is a $2 fee in Bitcoin, when it goes up 1,000 times, that'll be a $2,000 fee. Right? And so by that time, though, they will have long since scaled Bitcoin. In the scaling debate, a lot of people talk about the scaling debate. I've done some research into it. Right now it's at 7 transactions per second, and I think they're going to be able to scale it up into the thousands of transactions per second. You know, and that's just Bitcoin. That's not counting all the other current cryptocurrencies. See, these central bankers are scared shitless, because they've done a study on the cryptocurrencies now, and they fully understand that these things are going to take over. When they completed their study, they want part of the action. They want to get in there and have their own cryptocurrency and control the cryptocurrency space. But at the same time, I think they realize that the cryptocurrency space is not going to be that easy to control. Nobody's going to want their old coin when they release it. People are going to say, we don't want that. It's centralized. And the people are getting to hate the bankers more and more and more. So this is not going to work for them. So the only other alternative is to destroy Bitcoin, or it's going to destroy them. But they can't figure out how. Because every single computer can carry a full node, and you can completely put the Bitcoin network back together from each full node. So they would have to go out and find every computer that carries a full node of Bitcoin, destroy them all. Good luck with that. The only way to really get rid of it would be to completely turn the internet off. And then as soon as you turn the internet back on, Bitcoin's back up and running again. People can quite literally even run Bitcoin without the internet. They can run it from individual computers. So you'd have to not only destroy the internet, you'd have to destroy all sources of electricity. Somehow put us back into the Stone Age. But at that point, if they go that far, they've also destroyed their own mechanism by which they function. The banking system functions. So they just don't know how to get rid of it at this point. They're absolutely desperate because they know it's going to destroy their business that's made them cushy for so long. You know, this is why Jamie Dimon is so desperate. But at the other side of the coin of this, they all know that they're buying it for themselves. Because as they're telling you that it's a scam and everything else, on the other side of the table over there, they're buying the stuff. Because they know it's going to go up to the moon. They want in on some of that action. And when I say up to the moon, I'm not talking about it going to $10,000. I'm talking about when this transition takes place and everybody tries to get out of the fiat currencies because they're realizing that they're going down the toilet. See, I used to often think that silver and gold were the ones that were going to take this transition. But now I can see they're going to keep silver and gold suppressed to the bitter end. I hate to say that, but it's true. They're not going to let that stuff move upwards, the central banks, until they finally run out of it. As long as they have, and they won't run out of gold. They won't run out of gold, trust me. But they might run out of silver. So they'll keep silver suppressed until they actually have a physical silver shortage that snaps gold and silver free of the suppression. So you might ask yourself, what would cause an actual physical silver shortage? And I can tell you a lot can cause a physical silver shortage because every year they're getting lower and lower on the silver inventories. And they're keeping that top secret, that information. They're not letting anybody know the true the true knowledge about how much physical silver is in existence in their inventories. See, it doesn't matter how much is in our inventories. All the people that buy physical silver, doesn't matter. Because the people, they're not going to give that up. They're hanging on to it as an investment. What really matters in this equation is the silver inventory that is available for sale on the open market. And mostly they've been deriving that inventory that they sell on the open market from several different avenues. They've been getting it from. They've been getting it from mining production. They've been getting it from smelting down old silverware and stuff, junk silver. But I'm going to tell you, that avenue has been almost completely cut off to them now. There's almost nothing coming in like an old tea sets and old silverware and stuff like that. They're not getting hardly anything of that, right? It's minuscule what they're getting of that. So most of it's coming from mining production. And guess what? Every year they're running a deficit. The mining production is not yielding enough silver to cover the complete supply of what the earth demands. But because they've suppressed the price so much in the last year and stuff, they've made people discouraged. And what's happened is there's been a bit of a drop-off in the buying of physical gold and silver at different places like Silver Eagles and stuff like that. So there might not be quite as big a deficit this year as there has been in numerous other years. But I'm expecting that won't really matter too much because I think mining production is going to slump off as well to match the difference. So I think you're going to see when they do the mining production, when they do the checkup on it. I'm waiting for this. In fact, the charts that's going to come out and show this. I think it's going to show a drop-off in mining production very soon. This is what I'm expecting coming up, is a drop-off in silver mining production. And that's going to probably equal out the drop-off in the coin sales and stuff like that. Coin and bar sales and stuff. The one's going to equal out the other. You know? But still, that'll mean they're still running into a similar deficit. Year after year deficit is eating away at their inventory supplies. Now, when are they going to run out? That's the question. Because, like, if you go back into the 1980s, they had like 13 billion ounces in their above-ground inventories available for sale. and it's dwindled. And I think at the year 2000 it was down to like 4 billion, and now it's under 1 billion. So they went from 13 billion down to 1 billion. How long is it going to take before that one last billion's gone? And and they just don't have enough to cover these deficits. Because the day that they go out there and Apple calls up for some 1,000-ounce silver bars to make their iPhones with, and they're none available, and they call all around everywhere and there's none available, they're going to freak and they're going to panic. And they're going to want to get the stuff. They might be so desperate they might actually go to places like Acmex and buy out their whole supply, even of coinage and stuff like that, coinage and bars, 100-ounce bars and stuff. And so you'll go to your Acmex dealer, and that'll set off a panic. As soon as that happens, all of these guys, once they go in, they see out of inventory on everything, like at Acmex and stuff. The word will go through. It's the same way. It's the same way with fishermen. You know, if the fish are running, right? At first, when the fish start running, nobody knows they're running. But one guy will go out fishing, and he'll start catching those fish, and the school's running through that area. And he'll call up all his buddies, and next thing you know, an hour later, they're all out there on the bank putting their poles in the water. Hundreds of them. You know? They know. And that's the way with silver. They'll all call each other, and they'll all know, and then everybody will want it. But when there isn't any. And that's when the price will start to go up like crazy. Then you've got your real silver shortage, and that's when this thing's going to break free, and they're going to lose control over it. But I don't think that they're going to let this thing go. They're going to run it out as long as they can possibly run it out, and the cryptocurrency is already in this massive bull run. So the cryptocurrency is taking the heat first. And because of that, it's getting a first mover advantage over gold and silver. The cryptocurrency is getting a first mover advantage. And so the cryptocurrency also has a few things that gold and silver doesn't have that it can do. A few nice little magic tricks the cryptocurrency can do. You forget it with gold and silver. One of it is, let me see you take your gold and send it across the border instantaneously. You know? Go try to take your bar of gold. If, say, you got a 10-ounce bar of gold, go try to take it across the border. Guess what'll happen? They'll take it from you, and you'll never see it again. Never. They'll just confiscate it. Doesn't matter if it's your life savings. Doesn't matter if you've got a receipt. None of that matters. They'll just say money launderer or drug money, whatever comes to mind that they can say, and then they'll just shove it in their back pocket. It's now theirs. It belongs to them, not you. It's highway robbery. That's what it is. But you can't take it. But now your cryptocurrency, you can take 10 of your or now it would be 5 bitcoins. Take 5 bitcoins and you can send them wherever you want, and there ain't no border guard going to stop it and take it from you. Let's see gold do that little trick. But now I do know that there are some tricks that gold has the cryptocurrency doesn't have. Like, what if the internet went down? You know, where is your cryptocurrency then? Locked up in cyberspace, and you can't get it. But you know, the thing about it is, if the internet goes down like that, well, then we're all frigged anyway. we're all toast anyway. It's over for all of us anyway, if the internet goes down like that. So that's not really a valid argument about cryptocurrency. So here's the thing. I'm going to tell you, for every one of you out there, if you're in the cryptocurrency space already, you're the lucky ones. Because by the time your friends and neighbors buy in, they're going to be emptying out their bank account, and they're not going to be able to get but a tiny little minuscule amount of cryptocurrency. And right now, even if you're not rich, even if you've only bought yourself a half a Bitcoin or something like that, you know, or a quarter of a Bitcoin or something like that, still you're going to be way ahead of them, because they're going to empty out their bank account, whatever they got, I don't know, $25,000 or whatever, and they're going to go out and finally buy Bitcoin because they have to. You know? and they're only going to get like 0.001 or something silly like that. And you've got 0.25. Say you bought a quarter of a Bitcoin, you got 0.25, and they got 0.001. They used to be richer than you. What happened? What happened was you got into cryptocurrency ahead of them. First mover advantage. Sorry. Now you've got 100 times more money than they've got. Suddenly. You know? And I was talking with my father tonight on the way home in the car, and I said, Pop, I said, you know what? You don't need to have a massive amount of Bitcoin at some point in the future to be rich. I said, you'll be set for life with just one Bitcoin. Because there's only 21 million of them, and look at how many people there are in the world. And when you consider that the rich people are going to hoard up an awful lot of the supply of them, and they have to distribute these cryptocurrencies through the entire earth, and all these unbanked people are going to start using it. Everybody's going to become their own bank with it. Everybody's going to want a share of it. They're going to divide it and divide it and divide it and divide it again until it's worth more and more and more and more. And the more they start using it for transactions, it can only go one direction, up. Yeah, I know that there are fluctuations on the way where it does go down. And it'll continue to do that. Because it's going up in a wave pattern. It's like up, 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 up. But on the way up it goes down, and up, and then down again. But every time it's higher and higher and higher and higher. And I can't see any end of this, in it doing this. It's just going to keep doing it. So whenever you get in, even if you buy in at a high and it drops down in price, don't worry about it. Because there's a time coming, not too far in the distant future, where it'll exceed that price you got in on. You just got to wait. You just got to sit on the stuff. I'm done. I'm done. I'm absolutely done. I've made the mistake in the past, and I'm not repeating it, of selling my cryptocurrencies. I'm very slowly now going to build up myself a little nest egg of cryptocurrency, and I ain't selling. I ain't selling. I ain't selling. I don't care if it goes up really high. You know, I ain't selling it. I'm not trying to. I'm going to just be holding it now. Holding it until it completely. I'm gonna tell you when I will start using it or selling it or whatever. When everybody knows what it is, that's when I'll think about moving my cryptocurrency. When every single person knows what it is and they're all using it as for transactions on their phones. Then, when I can go into Walmart and I can not just use Bitcoin, but they'll have a list of cryptocurrencies that they take. Maybe 30 different cryptocurrencies. When I can go in there at Walmart and use Dogecoin, not just Bitcoin, not just Litecoin, not just Dash or a few of the other expensive ones. When they got a list that goes all the way down, say to Dogecoin or something like that, or Paycoin or something like that, and they got a big long list, and they'll take all of them, and they've got a chart up there, or chart on the computer that instantly turns it into Bitcoin and then takes it from you. And Bitcoin will probably still be the premier coin, you know. And their computers will instantaneously do all of the transaction charges and everything, so that it converts one coin to another coin, and then probably the computer will probably automatically convert whatever coin you got into however so many Satachis it's worth. So say you got a Dogecoin, and it might be worth well, let me see. I'm picking Dogecoin as an example, but Dogecoin, I'm going to see how many Satachis it's worth right now, or try. I think it's worth around 60 Satachis, okay? I think something like that, 60 or 70 Satachis. Anyway, So if they convert Satachis, and probably by the time a Bitcoin's worth $1 million, each Satachi will be like a penny, right? So 60 Satachis, that means a Doji coin would be worth 60 cents. Am I figuring that right? If it's 60 Satachis? Something like that, you know? And so you'd be able to buy things with your Doji coins. But the computer would instantly convert it into Satachis, and then they would the going price for Bitcoin would be translated. So it would instantly convert. But I think Bitcoin's always going to be the premier coin, the leader in all of this technology. Who knows? It might transfer from the original Bitcoin over to Bitcoin Cash. So I'm going to really be bullish on Bitcoin Cash over the next 6 months. I'm going to be bullish on them, I'm telling you. That and Litecoin. It's not just Bitcoin. I'm going to be bullish on Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin. Those are two I'm very interested in, 2 coins. So listen, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next article.